That damn Stephanie Lancaster is one conniving bitch. Let's talk about it, y'all. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Ambition Season 1, Episode 3. And the name of this episode is Welcome to Birmingham. I am such a huge fan of this damn show because, hey, Will Packard and Jamie Giddens did their thing with this show because I am a huge fan, and every episode I'm on the edge of my seat. So let me begin. Evan gets word that they're bringing in someone to question his mistress. And pretty much we see that he calls Bella and it goes to voicemail. And we see that Bella's in an office waiting to speak to somebody, but we see that the phone is actually in her bag. You know, and we see that Amara pretty much says, so are you having an affair with Mayor Lancaster? But here it is, we thinking she's talking to Bella, but she's not. She's talking to Daphne. So when the councilman, from the last episode mentioned to Amara, if you really want to know the dirt on Evan, why don't you talk to his mistress? He was talking about Daphne, not Bella. So, but we see that Bella's in the office, but it's not Amara's office. So she pretty much questions her, and so pretty much she goes back and forth with Stephanie about her position with him, and are you having an affair? And she says that, look, having an affair is ill-advised, but it's not illegal. But then she pretty much said, so pretty much Amara's like, yeah, but you also handle his city contracts, and that's up for questioning. And Daphne's about to leave, and Amara was like, bitch, I would sit down if I were you. Kickbacks, contract skimming, this can lead to federal prison. And immediately she knows that Kent Hamilton done pulled her ear to, and she's like, oh, you talking about Ken Hamilton? Oh, that fucking idiot. He's just trying to make a name for himself, putting down the mayor, and she was like, and Mara was like, no, this is about, misappropriating funds, for city contracts. And she says, fuck Ken Hamilton. I should be the one you need to be worried about. So, of course, Daphne shook up because she's like, oh, damn, she done got my number. Because she is one of the people in the office that's doing all his, dirty biddings to kind of, make certain things go down. Because we definitely know that Evan Lancaster is a shady motherfucker. So, we already get that already, that shit is going crazy. So then we see that Bella was waiting in an office, but it wasn't Amara's office, it was actually Evan's office. So she's pretty much at his office waiting to him, and of course he's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why the hell are you even here? And he was like, look, I really need to see you. And, if anything, nobody's going to question anything. They just think that this is a business meeting. Because she was wearing business attire, like she was there to discuss a contract or whatever. So they start talking, they go back and forth, and she wants this concession space at the airport where she can launch her fashion line. And pretty much Evan says that, girl, are you crazy? Companies kill for those spaces. But she's like, yeah, but you can make it happen. And pretty much she was saying that, look, there's a whole bunch of ropes and things that you got to go through to get one of those spaces. It ain't just that simple. But then she pretty much says that, and she pretty much gropes him and lets him know that, look, I can make this the best feeling or the worst. Get me that concession space, and walks the hell out. So then we see that Stephanie meets with Greg Peters. He's there to meet her father, Steven, but Stephanie decides to take over the meeting because she wants to be the boss bitch. And they talk about the English Rose settlement and everything, And he says that, Rondell has his investors, getting nervous, and pretty much she was saying that, I got you, and she was saying that because she says, I got resources that my father doesn't even know about. I can get this done for you. And then she kind of told me like, oh yeah, and and then all of a sudden he kind of lets her know, I like your style, and she's like, yeah, I'm the future of this firm, so any matters in regards to this, you bring it to me. So then we kind of see what's going down at Purifoy. We get a little showdown between Lori and Titus. So pretty much we see that what this was going on here is, Titus is general counsel and Lori is the head of public relations. He pretty much said that what happens is that Lori done put out this ad, but he felt it was too unapologetic and aggressive, and she pretty much says that, look, our ads had to still be sharp and it had to be blunt, and if we don't have strong ads, we're gonna look weak. But he says that, but right now this company is under a lot of scruples, and there's a lawsuit against you guys, and she was saying that, look, and then Titus kind of lets her know that, look, companies can fall due to their hubris, and pretty much she was like, she tells him, you need to stay in your lane, and he was saying that I'm the general counsel, so I have access to every lane, for a reason, and I'm here to do my job. And Lori was like, yeah, but I'm here for the long haul. Sorry, that's not the same for you. And I was like, #token black. You're only there to serve their purpose because since he's black, and due to the fact that Atlanta has a very big, black, financial, district, and also big financial market, which is run by African Americans, he wants him to be the face, so therefore he can get deals through Titus. But once Titus serves his purpose, he's probably going to throw him away like trash, because that's just what they do. And so she kind of let it be known that, boo-boo, you only here on borrowed time, so it is what it is. So then we see that Stephanie takes herself over to Thelma's place, to talk to Senior, because Senior is the actual owner of Thelma's place, not Rondell. But Rondell is leading the fight because not only is this her mother's restaurant and it's a family heirloom, but then this is a part of her community. But Stephanie goes in and she kind of like spins it on Senior that, Rondell isn't even the sole owner, and she acts like you don't even exist. What we want to do is help rebuild the banks, and you doing this could help put Evan in the governor's mansion. And then she was like, ooh, it's getting a little hot. I just need to reveal this. And then she takes off the little sweater to show her cleave, and I'm like, oh, dang, no, you not trying to serve cleavage to the daddy, you little slut. I'm like, oh, damn, there's like no limit that she won't go to get what she wants. Stephanie is that bitch. So pretty much she says, I can give you a great offer for this, And then all of a sudden, while she's trying to work her cleave on Senior, Rondell shows up. And also Ronald's like, what the hell is going on up in here? And then, Stephanie's like, oh, he's upset that you have been keeping things from him, And then he pretty much kind of gets irate with Rondell and says that you've been holding things from me. You're not telling me. I own this restaurant, not you, and I will make the decision whether I'm a sell or not. So he tells Stephanie, I'll be in touch with you. And But yeah, it's my decision, and you not keeping nothing from me no more. So I was like, Stephanie, you cold bitch. That was fucked up. And Stephanie ends up leaving, and that was the end of that. Then we get a scene with Daphne and Evan. Remember, Daphne just got grilled from Amara's ass and saying that she on the radar, and and he and she tells Evan that she went to see Amara, and she kind of lets her know that when this thing goes down, you're gonna fall the hardest. And then Evan was like, "But did she get to you?" She's like, "She's a federal prosecutor. Hell yeah, she got to me." And pretty much Evan was like, "You have nothing to worry about. They're only doing this bullshit to justify their paychecks. Just get back to work. Everything is fine." But we can definitely see after she leaves, Evan is worried. They on his tail, because this is the federal government going after him. This ain't local Atlanta politics. This is way above Atlanta. So he's shook. So then we see another run-in with Lori and Titus, and he pretty much tells Lori, "Oh yeah, you know about that ad in the paper we was talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, and he was like, "I canceled it." And he says, "I also need to let you know that I need to vet any campaign that you work on before it goes public. I need to vet it before it hits the papers." And pretty much she says that and she's like, "You think I'm gonna go through you? Seriously?" And Titus was like, "Look, I'm here to do a job, and I'm gonna be on my job." And Lori is just pissed. So then we see that there's this guy that works at Purifoy, the only black guy working at that company, takes him out to this jazz joint, and pretty much they he's the only black guy there, so of course they're gonna bond. So he pretty much takes him out to this jazz spot, but he sees some friends and he goes to holler at them, and while that happens, he runs into Stephanie. And you can definitely tell that the sexual chemistry and the tension between them is obvious. And he pretty much said that he sent his argument in defense of the Purifoys. And she's like, "Okay, well, let's get a drink." He knows her drink. Her drink is a Manhattan. And she was saying that, then they start reminiscing about college and stuff like, "Yeah, you remember how we said we were gonna be when we graduated?" And she was like, "Yeah, I was gonna be Claire Huxtable from the Cosby Show, and you were gonna be Blair Underwood from LA Law." And then all of a sudden, we see that while they sitting there, Titus starts stroking Stephanie's head. And I was like, "Oh no, the fuck you not." But then he was imagining it. So it's obvious she's got a thing for him. She has a low-key thing for Titus, which we already know. But it's now been confirmed that Titus got a low-key thing for her. But then he immediately snapped out of it and said he had to leave. So then we see that Hunter Purifoy and his daughter Lori have a conversation, and she pretty much says that, "Aren't you aware that Arden and Titus left together today?" And she was like, "Well, they're the only two black guys in the company. It's laws of attraction. They're gonna naturally gravitate towards each other. It is what it is. I ain't worried about that." And he was like, "But he's general counsel, and he should be giving, Titus information that he's not privy to, And she pretty much called Titus a arrogant, know-it-all jizz stain. I was like, "Lori, bitch!" That had me rolling. I'm like, Lori is slick with her mouth. And she's like, "Yeah, he's an arrogant, know-it-all jizz stain with an ego complex, and I can't stand him. And I'm not gonna let him come up in here and try to ruin my kingdom." And he was like, and like Hunter was like, "Girl, you got the balls the size of Montana. And she was like, yeah, I get them from my daddy. And she was like, yeah, so due to the fact you got it from me, so now we know who does the teaching and who needs to do the learning. So you need to get your adorable little face, to your office. And I was like, he was about to go off of her ass. So she leaves and he was like, Lord help me. I'm like, yeah, your daughter's just like your ass. So we definitely saw that. So then we get a scene with Evan and Bella. Evan comes to Bella's home, and he pretty much saying that, you being at the mayor's office, you doing too much, we need space, and it's only gonna be a process, but we need to cool this off right now. So she gets mad, like, you're dumping me? Seriously? And then all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. She makes Evan go in the bathroom, and the person at the door is Roderick. Roderick's at the door, and he's saying that, I'm so happy. She's like, I'm so happy you came to see me. He's like, yeah, I'm always going to be there for you. And Joaquin. Remember, we found out a few episodes ago that Joaquin is Evan's son. So I'm like, and Evan in the damn bathroom hears all of this. And the next thing you know, Roderick and Bella get it in on the damn couch, and damn, Evan gotta watch the two of them have sex, and he is hot. He is so pissed. And I'm like, really, Evan, you got some nerve to be pissed, and you doing all the dirty shit you doing? She don't even know that he got a mistress at work that he fucking. But like, Evan got a whole bunch of shit going on. So therefore, we see a scene with Amara and Titus. Titus is trying to fix this table because he's still got Stephanie on his mind. And then he also mentions that, Lori is getting on his damn nerves. And then somebody walks in. Because what ended up happening before he had talked to Lori the first time, he was on the phone with his daughter, Deja. She wanted to come to town for a concert. And while he was pretty much going to tell her, I'm not going to let you come home for no concert. And she hung up on him. So we see that she comes in. She got this goth punk look. She's a pretty girl though, but definitely she got this goth punk look going on. And she's actually in town for a rock concert. And then we see that she brings her, little white boyfriend, and he's kind of speaking all this slang with them, like, man, it's insane to meet you guys. And they was like, yeah, it was insane to meet you too. And he was like, and she's like, Amara was kind of stunned back, and she was like, what the hell's going on? Oh, she's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, your daughter is in town to go to a rock concert. So they meet her boyfriend, and they go off, and he pretty much says that, be back by 1. And she was like, midnight. And she was like, excuse me? She's like, yeah, and if you have a problem with that, we can make it 11:30. So she's like, fine. So she goes off and with old boy, and that's the end of that. So, and then they send back like, oh my God, we did send her to that school. Yeah, it's a school. It's a very prestigious school, but it's like maybe 5 black people in that school. So of course she's gonna gravitate towards her environment. And they start, and then he's like, are they having sex? He's like, I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to think about that shit right now. He's like, yeah, sorry I asked. I don't want to think about that either. So it was really cute to see that they do love their kid. Because on the other side of things, we get a scene with Stephanie and Carly. Carly's on her phone looking at pics or whatever, and she pretty much says that and Stephanie's still talking about that dude Khalil, that y'all will make a great couple and all this shit. And then she tells her to put her phone down. She's trying to have a conversation. And she was saying that the reason why I'm on my phone is because I'm checking my theater schedule. And she's like, well, I hope you're giving some attention to your more important classes. And she was like, really, Mom? More important classes? You still on this law school crap? She's like, look, I'm not going to law school. I want to be an actress. You know, hey, Viola Davis never went to law school. And she was like, but darling, you are no Viola Davis. Carly was like, I can't. And she just gets up and walk off. And she's like, honey, I'm sorry. She's like, no, you think I suck. That's okay. I heard you loud and clear. So she pretty much just walks off. And then while that happens, she gets a call from Nick, her private investigator. And she's like, oh, so tell me more about this Damian Collins. I'm like, you evil bitch. So she's literally trying to dig him up to bring him back into the midst of things because she wants Titus for herself. She wants to take Titus back, and she's going to do everything she can to make that happen. So then we see that Roderick and Bella, after they done had sex, she pretty much tells him that, you know, he's trying to say, like, you want me to stay over? You know, and she was like, no, it's okay. You know, we can maybe we can do this another time and all of that. So he literally just banged her out, and he's on his way out the door. And all of a sudden, as soon as he leaves, Evan comes out and he's pissed. And he was like, how could you do this to me? And she was like, you dumped me. And he was like, why did I ever get involved with you in the first place? And then he leaves all mad and shit. We see that Evan walks down the hallway, but little does he know, Roderick's ass is still in the hallway too. He walked right past his ass and didn't even see him. So Roderick now knows that Evan is involved with Bella. So the question is, what is Roderick gonna do now? I was like, oh shit. So now Roderick know that, yeah, Evan was in that house the whole time that the two of them was getting it in. So he's now like, yeah, something ain't right here. So it's gonna be interesting of how this plays out. So then, what I mentioned before, we see that Deja, Amara, and Titus, you know, while Deja's at the concert, Titus and Amara are playing Twister, and it shows that they're really connecting, you know, in their marriage. You know, the passion and the love has come back, you know, to their marriage and everything, and, you know, pretty much, you know, her Deja finally comes in, and, you know, they asking like, so where's your boyfriend? She was saying that, oh, he actually got us some bad tickets. He was in his feelings, you know, but you know, I just sent him home, but meantime, I'm just gonna hang out with you guys. And they pretty much playing a game with their daughter, and it really shows that Deja, Amara, and Titus, they actually have a real family connection, unlike Evan and Stephanie with their daughter. You know, you can definitely tell that there's a real family love there amongst them. Whereas on the other end, it's all about connections. It's all about, you know, it's all about, you know, making maneuvers and moves and shit. Whereas with Deja and Titus, and with Deja, Amara, and Titus, there's a real family connected, and they love their daughter, and their daughter loves them, but she's kind of rebelling because she's at this very prestigious school and she misses her family, and, you know, they sent her to this school while they were dealing with their marital issues. So now they got to work their way back to their daughter because their daughter has been away from them for so long. But I like them playing together and shit because it really shows that they are a real family and they have a strong connection to each other. So then, you know, we see that Rondell goes to Evan's house to talk to him about, you know, are you really gonna let her try to take our restaurant? That restaurant is my life, you know. And she said that rich thought you married is trying to take it away from our family, you know. And he was saying that maybe it's a good thing. You work 16 hours a day in that restaurant and you barely break even, you know. And she's saying that, look, this restaurant keeps me going. You know, I'm trying to help the neighborhood survive. And she's saying that, yeah, but that restaurant is the reason why you never got married. You never had kids. When's the last time you've been on a date? And she was saying that, look, you need to talk talk to daddy, and maybe he can come to his senses as to why not he shouldn't do this. And then all of a sudden you hear Stephanie, "Stay out of it, Evan." And and that damn Rondell was like, me and my brother are having a private conversation, so won't you troll your sorry ass up on out of here? And she's like, "You gonna tell me to go to leave in my own house? Boo boo, the only person that's leaving is your ass. So yeah, won't you get the hell out of here and go back to that rat trap so-called restaurant of yours? Like, bye-bye now." That damn Rondell came back and was like, "You know what, honey? Your crow's feet are starting to show all over your face, sister-in-law. So, brother, won't you do your wife a favor and book her another Botox appointment?" I was like, damn! Rondell is slick with her mouth, and she holds no punches. And I was like, wow. But she let her ass know, like, "Bitch, you need some Botox with your old ass." And she walked out. And then all of a sudden, she gets to Evan and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get your daddy to sell the restaurant." And she's like, "Yeah, but you didn't get him to sell it to you yet." And she's like, "But I will. I mean, since you didn't do it, I'm taking matters in my own hands. And yeah, he hasn't sold it to me yet, but he will. You'll see." And I'm like, oh hell. So yeah, I did mention that both about them. So then we see that Lori goes to meet somebody. We come to find out she's gonna go see Carly. And she's like, "Yeah." And then, like, of course, they kind of play like this little cat and mouse thing. And Carly's like, "Yeah, I may be into women, but I'm not interested in you." But then the two of them start making out and shit. I'm like, damn, Carly's sleeping with the enemy. Because here it is, Stephanie is taking her father to court. And it's just like the two of them got this little lesbian tease going on between them. And then all of a sudden, Carly's phone goes off. Lori takes it and like, she's like acting like it's her father. She's like, "Oh, sir. Oh, hi. How are you? Oh, you're looking for Carly? Oh, Carly's here, and we're getting it in, honey. Yes. Do you know that your daughter is..." And then all of a sudden, Carly's like, "Why would you do that? Stop it!" And she was like, "It's a joke. I will never do anything to intentionally hurt you." So the two of them start making out, and we actually see that, yeah, it was actually Evan calling her, because Evan is definitely going through it because he done got into that whole situation with Bella, and he's feeling some kind of way. He ain't gonna fucking talk to no motherfucking Stephanie, but he will talk to his daughter because he does love his daughter. So then all of a sudden we see that Carly comes back, kind of sneaking in or whatever. Stephanie confronts her, on the way to her room. She's like, "Look, I was very harsh at dinner. You're a great actress, and I just want you to be the best Carlisle you can be." And she was like, "What? Why are you trying to make it sound like a damn army slogan?" And we could definitely see that, yeah, there's a very complex relationship between mother and daughter here. And pretty much she was saying, like, so she pretty much asks Carly, where did she come from? And she said, "Rehearsal. Oh, I thought that you would have been with Khalil. I mean, you guys need to really get this thing running." And she's like, why do I feel like you're trying to pimp me out, Mom? And she's like, "No, we're not doing that. But we know the Marvins, if Marvins were to move his electric company to the ATL, it will work out. It would really do a wonder here in Atlanta." And she's like, "Look, nothing is going on between me and Khalil." And she says that, "You know what? My mother always told me that, So she's like, "My mother always told me that if you got a bad attitude, you need to get a good night's sleep. So, don't let me keep you from it." And then she sees that Stephanie got an overnight bag, and she's like, "Where you going?" She says, "I'm going on a late night business trip. I'll be back tomorrow." So we see that Titus and Amara are laying there with each other and everything, and they're saying how much they miss this closeness, and they're done living in the past, and promise that we'll never bring up Damian Collins again. I'm like, yeah, it's all cute, but we come to find out. So then we see that after that, we come to find out something later, and I'm gonna get to it. So then we see that Evan goes to see his father, Senior, and he was like, "So you selling the place, Dad?" And he was like, "What? Did Rondell tell you about it? She lied to me. That's why I'm doing it. And he's saying that, they're gonna continue to come after us. It's gonna be like, get out or else. And I don't want to find out what else is. These drug pushers, the developers. If I gotta leave, I hope I look to get something out of it if I have to. And then he says that, I was the happiest man when you got elected mayor. And he was like, wow, my boy's the mayor. He's going to be making life better for the community. But I guess that was magical thinking. I'm like, wow. So his own father is telling him that you pretty much a fake asshole. Because here it is. I was so proud that you were going to be helping your community. You were going to be helping black people. But I'm like, no, because he got one foot in corporate greed and the underfoot in the blue collar. So he's pretty much caught in between two worlds. But that damn Evan he's something else, I swear. So, but then he pretty much tells his father that, look, whatever you decide to do, I got Rondell's back. So it's probably a messed up way of saying I love you, but if you choose to sell it, I got her back. She's gonna be okay. So whatever you choose to do, I'm with it. So then we see that Stephanie is at this bar somewhere, and then all of a sudden this fine ass man comes up and tells her, well, Mrs. Lancaster, welcome to Birmingham. And she's like, wow, we finally meet, Mr. Damon Collins. I'm like, bitch! She went all the way to Birmingham, Alabama to dig up Damian Collins to throw him back in the ring to get at Amara so she can get Titus. I'm like, oh, this bitch is ruthless. There is no line she won't cross to get what she wants. I'm like, damn, Stephanie. Like, this bitch is vindictive. And the shit is crazy. So, that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I love to talk about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Ambitions. So until next time, everybody, take care.